There's a couple in Seattle making a combined $420,000 a year. They live in a modern townhouse, drive 2 new cars, take 2 vacations a year. On paper, they've done everything right. Good schools, high-paying careers, smart, disciplined, successful. But last winter, their furnace broke. The repair cost was $6,800. They didn't have the cash. They put it on a credit card, and for the next 3 months, they argued about money. Not because they didn't earn enough, but because there was no margin left, no buffer, no room to breathe. This isn't rare. According to a 2024 Bank of America Institute report, nearly 28% of households earning over $150,000 still live paycheck to paycheck. Think about that. Top-tier income, same financial pressure. But what makes this even more confusing is that nothing looks wrong from the outside. Their careers are stable, their income is high, their lifestyle looks controlled. There's no obvious mistake, and that's exactly why this trap is so dangerous. Because it doesn't feel like a mistake while it's happening. It feels like progress. Most of these decisions don't happen all at once. They happen slowly, year by year, raise by raise. First, it's upgrading the apartment because the old one feels too small now. Then it's upgrading the car, because after working this hard, it feels deserved. Then it's eating out more often, because time feels more valuable than money. Then it's convenience, delivery instead of cooking, Uber instead of driving. And each decision makes sense, individually. But over time, something subtle happens. Your baseline shifts. What used to feel like a luxury now feels normal. What used to feel optional now feels necessary. And once something becomes your normal, removing it doesn't feel like optimization. It feels like loss. Psychologists have studied this for decades. It shows that humans quickly return to a baseline level of satisfaction, no matter how much their income or lifestyle improves. So that first big upgrade, it feels amazing for a while, but eventually it becomes invisible. And then the next upgrade becomes necessary just to feel the same level of satisfaction again. This creates a cycle. Earn more, upgrade, adapt, repeat. And here's the part no one talks about. The upgrades stay, but the feeling doesn't. So over time, you're left with higher expenses without higher satisfaction. That's not progress. That's pressure. Hi, I'm Rishi. And over the past few weeks, I've been looking into something that doesn't get talked about enough. Not poverty, not low income, but something far more confusing. People who earn a lot of money and still feel broke. Not temporarily, consistently, quietly, year after year. This is what I call being rich on paper, broke in reality. There's a certain assumption we all grow up with. Make more money? Your financial problems go away. Hit 6 figures? Life gets easier. But the data tells a different story. A 2023 Lending Club report found that over 60% of Americans earning $100,000 plus live paycheck to paycheck. Even more surprising, among those earning over $250,000, almost 50% reported the same thing. So clearly, income alone isn't solving the problem. Take another example. A guy in Dallas, mid-30s, makes around $210,000 a year in sales, commission-based. Some months are incredible, some are average. He bought a house right after his best year, locked in a $3,800 mortgage, upgraded his car, started eating out more, traveling more. This is exactly what researchers call lifestyle inflation, and it happens faster than people think. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, household spending tends to increase almost proportionally with income, meaning when income goes up 20%, spending often follows close behind. Not because people are irresponsible, but because upgrades feel justified. Now, multiply that across years. A $15 lunch becomes $25. A $300 car payment becomes $700. A $2,000 rent becomes $4,000 housing. Each step feels small, but together, they lock in a lifestyle. There's a family in California earning just under $500,000 a year. They have 2 kids in private school. That's about $35,000 per child per year. That's $70,000 annually after tax income. Now here's where it gets heavy. According to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, the average American savings rate in 2025 is around 3 to 4%. That means for every $100 earned, only $3 or $4 is actually saved. Everything else is spent. And this pattern doesn't change much with income. A high earner saving 4% is just a higher income version of the same problem. Now add comparison into the mix. A 2024 Charles Schwab Modern Wealth Survey found that Americans believe you need $2.2 million to feel wealthy, and about $775,000 just to feel financially comfortable. Meanwhile, the median net worth in the US is under $200,000. That gap matters, because even high earners don't feel ahead, they feel behind. There's a couple in New York earning around $300,000, which sounds like a lot, but their rent alone is $5,500. After taxes, after expenses, they look around and still feel like they're not doing enough. This is what psychologists call relative income effect. You don't measure wealth in isolation, you measure it against the people around you. And today, that around you includes social media. A 2023 report from the American Psychological Association linked financial stress with social comparison, showing that people exposed to higher lifestyle content report lower financial satisfaction, regardless of income. So even when you're earning more, it doesn't feel like enough. Now let's talk about debt, because this is where the pressure becomes real. According to the Federal Reserve, total U.S. credit card debt crossed $1.2 trillion, the highest level ever recorded. And here's the surprising part. High-income households hold a significant share of that debt. A Federal Reserve analysis shows that the top 20% of earners account for roughly 30 to 35% of total consumer debt. Why? Because they're not borrowing to survive. They're borrowing to maintain. Maintaining a lifestyle is expensive, and once it's built, it becomes difficult to step back. Now compare this to actual wealth builders. Research from the Millionaire Next Door found that most millionaires save 15 to 20% of their income consistently. Around 80% are first-generation wealthy, and the majority live below their means. That's the difference. Not income, behavior. Let's put real numbers on it. Someone earning $300,000, saving 5% equals $15,000 a year. Saving 20% equals $60,000 a year. Over 20 years, at a modest 7% return, the 5% saver builds around $650,000. The 20% saver builds around $2.5 to $3 million. Same income, completely different outcome. And that's the core of this entire idea. Being rich on paper means your income looks impressive, but your structure is weak. Being financially secure means your system works, even if your income doesn't look flashy. The uncomfortable truth is this: a high income can hide bad financial habits for a long time, but it can't fix them. Eventually, the numbers catch up. And when they do, it's not about how much you earn anymore. It's about how much you kept. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't built in big moments. It's built in percentages, quiet ones, consistent ones, the kind no one sees. And once you understand that, you stop chasing income alone and start building something that actually lasts.